What's going on, guys? It's me. All right, let's get started. So, I was obviously, like every other senior, given the task of writing a speech for everyone here to hear. And I thought, what should I write about? After maybe like 30 seconds of thinking, I thought, let me just share with you guys one of my weekly shower thoughts. Last week, I'll set the scene for you guys. Last week, I just got home from a volleyball game, and I smelled bad, so I got in the shower. I was thinking about all the storybooks that I had read while I was a little kid. I would grab one of the books off my little shelf, and I would just scroll through the pages and look at the pictures. And I didn't know how to read the words then, so I would just create my own story with the pictures in the book, because obviously I couldn't read the words. And each time I would come up with a different story, leading me to the exact same picture at the end. And finally, I learned how to read those words. And once I learned how to read all those words, I felt like I had lost some sort of connection to that story. I thought there was no fun in looking back and picking up that same book off that shelf, because I would get the exact same journey to the exact same conclusion every single time. Like when I was younger, the pictures, they always meant something different, and there's always a new journey that I would take to get there. And relating that to something deeper, I feel like the journey of life is all based on your perspective. When I look back at the stories that I used to come up with as a kid, they showed me how I developed as a person over the years. The stories I made were basic and to the point. And when I finally learned how to read the words, I was understanding someone else's interpretation rather than coming up with my own. And for me, that was an eye-opening experience. On one side, I saw another person's perspective that I could learn from and take something away and understand how they perceived that story. On the other side, I felt somewhat constrained, like the ideas of that author were now the only thing that would influence me when I went to look at that story again. Moving forward, I wouldn't like to pick up that same book, because I felt like I couldn't look at that story the same way that I did as a kid, where I would have a different sort of ending every time. And I feel like the knowledge of being able to read those words and having someone else's perspective, although it is helpful, it limits you from having your own unique perspective. And after all of that pondering was done, it was time for me to get out of my shower. Now, to close off my speech, I just wanted to give a few thank yous to some people. First of all, I want to thank all of you guys here for listening to me and giving me your time. Also, I want to thank all of my friends for being there for me, and all of the struggles I've had throughout the way. You guys have been there. But especially to my parents, because they've been there with me ever since I was here, supporting every single decision, good or bad, that I make. And I'm thankful for you guys. And then specifically, I want to thank my sister. She means a lot to me, and I can't name a single time that I've asked for her help and she has said no. Sometimes I would ask for her help to do something, and she would just go out and do the whole thing for me. I know everyone is sitting here all excited about the ChatGPT stuff, writing your essays for you guys, but I'm lucky to say I've had my essay writer since I grew up. All right, thank you guys all for your time.